Hello friends, tonight we are going to tell you a very special story. A story of a man who dared to go against the whole world to show you and me the light of the stars. This is the story of the brave Galileo. In the 16th century, there was a famous scientist named Galileo Galilei. He was born in Pisa, Italy, but later moved to Florence with his family. He had two elder brothers and one younger sister. All three of them became monks, while their parents wanted Galileo to become a priest. So they sent him to a Jesuit school near Florence to prepare for his future in the church. However, Galileo was more interested in exploring the world than studying religion. As a boy, he used to spend all day long outside watching birds flying, boats sailing, and clouds floating. He loved thinking about how things worked. He asked endless questions about the world. And when he grew up, he became known as the father of modern science. One day, Galileo went to a market in Florence and bought himself a compass. He noticed that when he moved it, its needle always pointed in the same direction. He realized that this tiny tool could help him measure directions while traveling. Soon, he also learned how to make clocks more accurate using weights instead of water to regulate their speed. These inventions made Galileo famous. Everyone wanted to talk to him about science and math. But Galileo had an even bigger dream. He wanted to understand the universe. For this, he built a telescope, a device with lenses that makes distant objects look closer. When Galileo looked through his telescope, he saw things nobody had ever seen before. He saw that the moon was not a perfect circle, but had mountains and valleys, just like the Earth. Then he turned his telescope towards Jupiter and found 4 moons orbiting around it. This discovery was shocking. Until then, everyone believed that the Earth was the center of the universe. But now, Galileo's telescope was showing that other planets and their moons also revolved around the sun. It was a revolutionary discovery. However, not everyone liked what Galileo had found. In those days, the Catholic Church had a lot of power. They controlled everything people could learn and think. And what Galileo had discovered did not fit with what the Church had been teaching for hundreds of years. So, the Church leaders sent a message to Galileo, asking him to keep quiet about his discovery. They summoned him to Rome and ordered him to lie on a special chair. After that, they covered his eyes with a black cloth and made him listen to a fake trial. They said that many people had claimed to see things like Galileo, but they were wrong. They told him not to repeat their mistake. Galileo was sad, but he knew he had seen the truth with his own eyes. Then the church leaders told him to sign a paper saying he was wrong. But when they took the paper away, they were surprised to see that Galileo had written a prayer instead. Later, they put him under house arrest, which means he was allowed to stay at home, but was not allowed to go anywhere else. Galileo spent the last 9 years of his life in this way. At first, he was very angry and frustrated. But then he started thinking about how he could still do something for science. So he began writing books and sending letters to his students all over Europe. In these books, he shared his ideas about space and the universe. He wrote about the moons of Jupiter, the mountains on the moon, and how the Earth goes around the sun. Even though he was under house arrest, Galileo kept searching for knowledge. One day, while looking at the stars from his window, he discovered another amazing thing. He saw that the Milky Way galaxy was full of stars and not just a river of light, as everyone thought. This discovery made him famous all over the world. People all over Europe were talking about Galileo and his discoveries. Some people supported him and some did not. But Galileo didn't care. He knew he had seen the truth, and that was enough for him. Finally, in 1642, Galileo died. He was an Italian who had discovered the secrets of the universe. By the time he died, Galileo had discovered 4 of the moons of Jupiter, craters and mountain ranges on the moon, the rings of Saturn and sunspots. But his greatest discovery was the courage to think differently. He was one of the first scientists who dared to go against the church and question its teachings. He showed that knowledge is never a crime, no matter how powerful your enemy is. Many other scientists made similar discoveries and proved that the Earth was not the center of the universe. Today, we can see the beautiful pictures of galaxies and stars taken by modern telescopes. But we should never forget Galileo, the man who first showed us the light of the stars. Now, let's see what we have learned. Let's play a game. Let's call it True or False. I will say a sentence. If the sentence is true, you have to say true. If the sentence is false, you have to say false. Okay, let's start. Galileo was born in Florence. Galileo built a telescope to explore space. Galileo discovered that the Earth is flat. Galileo kept asking questions about the world. The church leaders asked Galileo to stop his discoveries. Galileo spent the last years of his life in prison. We call Galileo the father of modern science. Okay, now you can answer. Was Galileo the first to discover the moons of Jupiter? Yes, he was. That's why we call him the father of modern science. Well done. You have learned the lesson for today. Hey, little friends, it's time to say goodbye. We hope you enjoyed this wonderful story. And if you want to hear more stories like this, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you will get notified every time we upload a new video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.